is ethical business? So what do you think about this phrase?
Ethical. What do you
Yeah,
mean?
ethical. Yeah, of course. Business. Let me share the board. Of course,
yeah.
ethical. Let me share the board. Okay, now you can see the word. As you can see, ethical business. But what is ethical business? Do you have any idea about this phrase?
Yeah, ethical. Yeah, I see the word. I know that was, but when I
Yeah.
hear,
Yeah, of course,
yeah,
of course. You
yeah, I
should
don't
see the
say.
word to be sure if it's, yeah, I got it. Yeah, so what do you think? So for example, when we say this word ethic or
Yeah, yeah, ethic
ethical business, so what it mean?
yeah, ethic and ethical. I think it's very important in every industry and every sector, because you know what, every action of people, we don't follow the rule, or we always to follow the rule to make sure that it not harm to another people and harm the people around us, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
yeah,
in business it's very important, because when we public and we sell, when we sell the product and when we sell services, it's impact to our customers. So we need to build, and we need to build
yeah,
and
of course.
set the rule. Yeah.
So of course we can say that we need to focus on, first of all, as you said, fairness,
Yeah.
honesty. So that is really important. Okay,
Yeah.
and respect.
Yes.
Yeah, and respect. So fairness, honesty, and respect. So we can consider them as foundation of ethical business.
Yes.
So that is
Yes.
really important. But how to make it? For example, yes, what are the characteristics of an ethical business? So we say yes, fairness, honesty. Okay, but what? How we can do this? For example, when we say honesty, when we say fairness, how we can do this? How we can be fair, or for example honest,
Yeah.
how we can respect, or for example consumers' right.
Yeah. I think it may in our company we build culture, so we have integrity and commitment culture in our company. So we build some decry about activity that's align with our culture. So we make practice every day, and from board of direct and board of manager, and every day. And I think and I believe that if we follow the rule, and if we follow the decry of integrity in and commitment.
Yeah,
So
of
I
course,
think,
of
yeah.
course. Well, let's talk about developing countries. So as we discussed before, especially about, for example, outsourcing some brands. So for example, they use actually like maybe foreign laborers or workforce to, I don't know, to produce, since they can pay less than normal. So for example, if we want to make or produce this product in our country, we should pay more. But actually, we can reduce costs when we outsource a brand, or for example, a product in another country, for example, China. Do you find it fair? So for example, you don't pay, of course, why you do this? Since, for example, there are lots of workforce and you don't need to pay a lot. So do you think this can be? So when we do this, when brands, or I don't know, names, we can say there are different names and brands in the world that do this, and that's really normal. So do you find it fair to use some maybe foreign workforce to actually produce something in order to pay less than normal? And yeah, what do you think about it?
Mm. Can you say again your contact?
Yeah,
Um,
of course. Actually, I'm talking about paying. So I think so when it comes to ethical business, we say fairness. And what is an example of fairness? We can say that actually prices, fair prices. And this fair price can be for goods or for example, workers, especially to workers. So what do you think? We don't do this. So normally brands and industries or brands, for example, companies, they tend to have, for example, some maybe workers from different countries like China. Why? Since actually we know that they in developing countries, so it's like we can say that they can pay less. So for example, but if you do this in the US, you should pay a lot.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Do you find it fair?
Yeah, I think it fair because in your real in fact the cost for living of the people in a developing country is low, very lower than developed country, for example, American or Europe, right? So I think the company or firm, they move their plan to the developed country. I think it's okay, but that they have to pay good for people in the local
Of course.
So, yeah, and they follow the rule and follow the culture and respect about the culture of their country. I think it's okay, it's noble, because I know the currency from another country different from
of course the currency, of course. Yeah, it means, so since you are paid in dollar, for example, US dollar, when you exchange it to your currency, it can be reasonable, acceptable, money. So it's okay. Yeah, actually, I haven't thought about it this way, but of course, when I think about it, yes, if there is, big difference, but I don't know, actually, it's normal since I was talking to one of my students about business in China, and I was like, why? So my student introduced a website, but the name is a Chinese website, like Temu or something like this. I think Temu or like this. So it's like a website similar to Amazon, but just, I checked it. I was shocked. I was like, no way. The prices, I was like, how it's possible? So it's not possible to actually, okay, we say cheap. Actually, there was no price. So actually, you don't pay just, I don't know, less than $1, or for example, $2, that if you want to buy it in the US, for example, you should pay $20. So it was like, I asked my students, why? What is the reason? How you do it? So we know that we have lots of brands that actually are producing in China, and we have actually made in China under lots of brands. So, but what is the secret? And she told me, so, they always actually, that was really, some of them said that, okay, because of workforce, or for example, laboring maybe is cheaper than other countries, especially developed countries. And another point that I got, the quality. So one of my students told me that if you buy the same product, Chinese product, maybe it's like, for example, it works for about 2 months or 6 the most. But when you buy the same product, for example, the US or other countries, not only, I don't mean just US, for example, another country, so it can be really long lasting product. So what do you think?
I think in China, they don't have the quality control system, so it's the product very not I think it's not quality. And the first thing that is the second thing, they produce in massive product, that means very large product they produce. So it's that means they can reduce the cost of the product. Yeah, I know Timu. I have first time try a product from them, and they ship they delivery very quickly. I think it's my 3 days to deliver.
Oh, from China to your country.
Yeah, but Vietnam government blocked Timu at Vietnam because I think that they have problem about the taxes, import taxes. Yeah, because when product delivery to consumer in from another country come to Vietnam or American, it should be to add more taxes. But Timu they don't do that, right? So it's cheap because they don't.
Of course, yeah. I just actually, saw some pictures, but I was like, well, no, it's not possible to do. And I think, this, it's may, if something like this, for example, not only this website, I mean, this type of maybe apps or website, if they continue working, or for example, people keep buying things, I think it may negatively impact local businesses. Like, for example, people tend to pay less. So why we need to, and they don't care. If it's okay, it only works for 2 months. So it's better to pay higher price, but maybe better quality. So I think it may negatively impact local businesses. So I think it should be banned. It's not really good, but I don't find it fair. So I think it's not fair, since when we say responsibility, we have social and responsibility. That is really important. Another maybe characteristic that is social and environmental. So when it comes to social responsibility, of course, you need to, or for example, accountability. So you need to be responsible about what you do, your action and consequences. So I don't know, I don't find it fair. So we have another one, environmental and social responsibility. So that is really important. So it's like, you need to be responsible about what you do, or for example, especially not only this, so it's like community, supporting people, charities. So, okay. Well, and now let's read this text and let's see what we have here. So, ethical business. What are the characteristics of an ethical business? So we talked about this. And now let's read the text about a company called Patagonia. In what ways is the company an ethical business? How does this compare to your idea? So let's see. Okay. A reason for being. Patagonia grew out of a small company that's made tools for climbers. Mountain climbing is still unheard of our business, but we also make clothes for skiing, snowboarding, surfing, fly fishing, paddling, and trail running. All of these are silent sport. They don't require a motor or the cheers of the crowd. The crowds come from connecting with nature. Our values reflect a business that was started by hand of climbers and surfers who love wild and beautiful places. This means that we act responsibly and take an active part in the fight to repair the damage that is being done to the health of our planet. We acknowledge that the wild world we love best is disappearing. That is why we share strong commitment to protecting natural lands and water. Caring for the environment is very important to us. We donate our time, services, and at least 1% of our sales to hundreds of environmental groups all over the world who are working to protect and restore the environment. But we also know that our business actively, from lighting our stores to dyeing shirts and create pollution, as byproduct. So we work steadily to reduce the impact we have and do more than simply comply with the regulations. We use recycled polyester in many of our clothes and only organic rather than pesticide-intensive cotton. Staying true to our principle during 30 plus years in business has helped us to create a company we're proud to run and work for. Okay, let's talk about it. So, environmentally friendly. So what do you think about this? So first of all, what do they do?
Yeah, they produce a tool, the tool for so and so they produce everything, a lot of things for the climber, but then the tool that's work inside. That means they don't make any noise to environment. Environment.
Yeah, of course.
Beside that, they donate 1% of their sales for some environmental group to protect the environment.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. And we have this one. Let me show you a byproduct. What is the second product? For example, in the process of producing something, normally a second thing produces. What is that? For example, when we make juice, the pulp left behind is byproduct. So we have pulp in addition to juice. So we say, okay, pulp is secondary, is second. So we say secondary product or byproduct. Now here, of course, as you can see, pollution, as by it means we are creating something, we are dyeing. Just let me say something. Dye means color. So for example, I don't say I color my hair. I say I dye. I got my hair dyed. So this is dyeing shirt, create pollution as a byproduct. So of course, we also create pollution. So they try to reduce the impact that they have on the environment. So of course, that is really important. So for example, they use recycled polyester in many of their clothes and only organic. So that is really important. Well, and now let's see. Let's answer this question. How have the company's founders influenced what the company does now? The first question. So what do you think according to the text?
I think they focus on the protect nature, and they in the we acknowledge that the wide world. That means they want to protect the nature, and they want everyone lies in the wild and very nature. I think that is influenced them in their minds when they found the company.
Yeah, of course. So actually influenced what the company does now. So that is really important. So let's find it. So for example, let me, don't require. So, here, I think. So climbers and surfers who love wild and beautiful. So that is really important. People who love wild places. So they try to take an active part in the fight to repair the damage. Yeah, of course. So that is really important. So we can say this way. Okay. This one. This means that we act responsibly and take an active part in the fight to repair the damage that is being done to the health of our planet. Yeah, of course. By hand of climbers. Okay. And the second one, what does the company have a commitment to? How do they show this commitment?
They commit to protect the nature, land, and water, and
Of course,
they use 1% of their sale to
of
donate
course.
donate to the environmental group to protect.
Yeah, of course, very good. And the next one, what points are made about the manufacturing process?
Yeah,
Producing, yeah,
producing from recycle police in many
yeah, yeah, of
and
course.
only organic.
Yeah, of course, only organic, of course.
That means they use some they input from them is some recycle polyester and
Yeah, polyester, of course.
but product from them very nature and
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. But I think, so there is a point here. So as we know, this is like an experience that we have about natural organic product. We know that they are more expensive. So it's like,
yes,
okay, so I want to know what do they do about price? So that is really important. Yeah, so it's perfect. But if you can control, so the
yeah,
price, so that is, yeah,
yeah,
that is really good. So we work steadily to reduce the impact we have, and we more than simply comply with regulations. We use
yeah,
recycled polyester in many. So this one is good. And only organic rather than pesticide intensive cotton. So of
mm,
course, but
yeah,
I think, maybe it can be a little. So when it comes to price, let's see if their products are, sold with reasonable price or no. This is really
yeah,
important.
yeah.
But that is really good to use organic. So, okay. What are the owners proud of the company? Why? I'm sorry. Why are the owners proud of the company? Why? So what are for why?
Because they stay true to their principle during 30
Yeah.
plus years and
Of course, more
have
than
the
30
free,
years.
yeah.
Yeah, very good. And well, so let's see.
Yeah,
Have you
I
ever heard? Yeah,
I have a quick question. 30 plus, that
of
means more
course.
than 30 years, right?
Yeah, of course. 30 plus, of course. Yeah,
Yeah.
30, more than 30 years, of course. Yeah. And now, so do you know this name? Patagonia? Do you know this?
No, no, I don't. Maybe
Yeah,
I'm not a
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, of course. And how important. So actually, let's talk about this since it's important. Yeah, why everyone want to buy something, I don't know, products from ethical companies. But so what is the problem here? As I told you, the price. So
Yeah.
how important is it for you to buy products from ethical companies? Do you normally do this? Do you care or no? You say that I have no idea, so let's buy.
It maybe increase the prices because the products from nature on maybe the product in material from their material maybe is higher. You know I bring coffee every day, so in Vietnamese the coffee shop they use some cup or some cup from nature material. So I first of my choose is from the coffee shop. They use cup from nature material.
Yeah,
That means
of course.
in the it's may higher 5 cent per cup. I don't know, but yeah, but I
Yeah,
think
yeah, let me say, yeah, I got it. So human, so we have some types of cups are made actually from materials like bamboo.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so you
yeah,
say, so we can say, actually, we can call the difference. So of course we say organic cups, but
yes,
we have also another name that is compostable cups. So
yes.
organic or compostable
Yeah.
cups. Yeah, they're organic. So yeah, of course, got it. And that is really good actually. And not only because they're really environmental friendly, we can say that actually the sense, the feeling that you get when drinking, for example, in organic product. So that is really good. So for example, I'm not a fan of plastic. I don't like it. So it's like, I try not to use it. But as you said, so some materials like organic. So we should know. Sometimes this actually, organic product, actually the process of manufacturing and producing this organic product can actually do harm to nature. So how is that? Yeah, we have logging industry. They cut down lots of trees, okay, to make something natural, so or organic. So this one, actually, this part is illegal. But yeah, I do agree with you. So it's really good to use some organic food, crops, so everything. Well, and now again we have some words here. We're gonna match the words in column A to and B to make phrases to complete. So, do most companies in your country always, or do they sometimes bend the rules? So, what is the first one? What do you think? So, which combination?
Yeah. So what the band? What
So,
the meaning of
okay,
band?
so first of all, yeah, it means, so let's talk about the meaning of, so let's complete it and then you can guess. Here we have bend the rules and the opposite is comply with regulation. Do you know the meaning of comply?
Comply?
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
So for example, especially when it comes to regulation and rules, so it means that you should follow, okay? You should act in accordance with rules and regulation. Now we have another word that is bend, okay?
Yeah.
So, and the meaning is like another, exactly the opposite, okay?
Yeah.
It means you change, yeah? You change the direction, you don't follow, okay? So, of course, I already give you the answer. So the first one.
That means I will match from A and B fit with
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Comply.
Yeah, comply, of course. Yeah, comply. It's just, let me say something here. We have M and P. So let me about the M is not pronounced here. Comply with that means follow. Let me write, follow the rules. And when we say bend, means break the rules, not to follow. So as I told you, it's opposite. So follow the rules. Yeah. And
I think in the first the first question is comply with
comply, of course, with
responsibility.
No, with regulations. Regulation means, regulation means rule, Regulation means rule. Here we have comply with regulation. It means follow and act accordance to regulations, to rules.
Yeah.
And do you know of any companies that services or money to help local organizations? So what do we do?
Have stay the impact. No, impact is the
No.
verb or
No. Okay, so here.
That's as a state responsibility.
Nope. We should give something. We should give something like our service or
money.
yeah, so what we
Donate.
do, we
Donate.
donate, of course. We donate our time, service, yeah, of course. And let me say something. When you want to know that if a word is noun, you know that there are lots of words in English that can be used as a verb or noun. The only point that you need to know, after you know that, we use noun. So here impact is noun, but we also use it as verb. So yeah. Number 3, how can businesses they have on the what? So what they have now here we have businesses they have on the environment.
How the business.
When it comes to environment,
take responsibility.
We have number 3. How can businesses? We have number 3, right?
Yeah,
yeah. Okay, so when it's okay. Whenever you see the word environment, okay, that is really important. Like it's not a collocation, but actually it's normally we expect for impact, effect, influence. So that is really important. So how can businesses reduce the impact they have? What we have on environment, we have impact. So reduce the impact.
Yeah.
And 4, why should a company and deal with any pollution that is but product of its business activity?
Yeah, we can analyze from the pollution, right? Pollution and
we can, of course, and you know, we can use this one, deal with. So deal with means take an action to try to do something. But what is that? So we have
take.
No, it can be, but let's make it. When we want to, first of all, if you want to deal with a problem, you should be responsible, right? If you're responsible, you deal with the consequences, the problems that you cause on the environment. So what is that? It means to be responsible. So we can say that they should act responsibly and deal with. They should be responsible and deal with any pollution that is byproduct of its business. So act responsibly. This is a good combination here. You know why I didn't use take an active part in? So first of all, we have preposition in here and we have and in, no way, definitely no. So we can't use. And in deal with, no again. Active part, dealing with. If you want to, for example, use in and deal with, no. You know that after preposition, if we have a verb, it should be used as ing form. If no, we can use a noun or maybe noun phrase. So here we can't use take an active. So act responsibly and deal with. The next one.
Local community, right?
Local community, of course, the life. First of all, we need to have something like maybe a preposition, verb and preposition.
I think stay a strong commit to.
Sure, strong to the life of. No, I don't. So what do you think about? So take Yeah, an active part in the life of. So what do you think about this? They are playing really important role, like, they take an active part in the local community. So I think this one is better. Take an active part in.
Yeah. But
So
yeah,
well,
the different from take action parts and and strong commitment.
share strong commitment.
It's very similar.
Yeah,
Right?
okay. So let's see. They can be considered, yeah, of course, when you share strong commitment, it means you have an important role in something. Yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
But what is that? What here we should pay attention. Look, when I have number 5, that's your company. I want to use, okay, share strong commitment to the life. What is left? To the life. It doesn't make sense. I have to, I need a verb here to do something. So here it doesn't make sense. It's better not to use it. But when I say and, on the other hand, take an active part in protecting, no. So it's not good. So here it's better. So I think when we need, in addition to the meaning, it's not only about meaning. So we should consider the structure. If it's acceptable, and for example, if it makes sense when we use this, so somehow they are similar. Of course, they're slightly different, but here it's better to, here we have share strong commitment. To is a part of sharing commitment, so protecting. So here is better combination.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the next one. 6. Should a company and values even
say a strong say true to its principle.
Of course, stay true to its principle, even if this means a loss of profit. Very good. And 7, as we just said, what companies in your country
stay a strong commitment to.
Yeah, to protect them. Yeah, what do they do? What share strong commitment? Okay. Well, and now, okay, again, we have a radio presenter questioning. So let's listen. First of all, let's, listen to read the question. How would you describe the interviewer style? So that is really important. How does the spokesperson react? And what does the company do for its staff, environment, local communities? So let's do this one one by one. Okay, let me 5.1. Let me see this one.
Unit 5. 5.1.
And now on to business. And we have with us in the studio Shamsul Aziz from Kano Oil and Gas Exploration, who will be telling us about their latest initiatives in social responsibility. Mr. Aziz, isn't it dishonest to pretend that you're anything other than a big multinational motivated by greed with a reputation for ruining the environment and exploiting local people?
Not at all. We take corporate social responsibility very seriously. Because as a leading gas and oil exploration company, we know that we can have a dramatic effect on people's lives.
Not necessarily a good one.
If I may answer the question, we are proud of our business ethics. Looking after our staff isn't just something we have suddenly discovered. It's one of our core values. We've always had a strong commitment to our workforce and an ethical approach to the environment and the communities we work in. We have a reputation for fairness. We work hard to combat discrimination and prejudice within our organization, and we are constantly improving working conditions for our staff. Safety has always been at the top of our agenda, but we have schemes in place for education, health and training. We do take care of our people.
Leaving that aside for a minute, how can an oil company have any credibility when it claims to be environmentally friendly? Surely that's deception. Your industry is probably the greatest contributor to pollution that there is.
No, not at all. As regards the environment, we can't say how people should or shouldn't use oil, but what we can do, and what we have done, is to reduce our own methane and hydrocarbon emissions. And we've made good progress. We also support a range of local projects. To take just one example, we provide financial support for turtle conservation in Bangladesh and have done for several years.
Apart from a few turtles, what do you actually do to help the people who are affected by your operations?
One of our guiding principles is to give back to the communities where we are carrying out our operations. So in Sanghu, for example, we have established a community project to provide skills training for unemployed youths. And in Rajasthan, we have undertaken health initiatives and other schemes to encourage sustainable livelihoods.
Some people might see that as a form of bribery rather than generosity.
I don't agree. It could be seen as corruption if all the money went to just one individual. But the support we provide, the health clinics, assistance to the air ambulance and so on, now these are things that benefit everyone, not just the people who work for us directly.
Okay, well, if I can now turn to the question of the...
Well, so let's see.
Yeah.
So interviewer style, so the way that he asked questions, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's yeah, interview style. I don't know how many style in the interview because I may forget 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 the style of the interview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. First of all, let's talk about this one. Okay, that was like, sometimes you ask questions directly and you are aggressive. Like, you attack people. So you say, okay, why you do this? Or for example, this is aggressive. Okay. So I think sometimes it's friendly, respectful sometimes. So they are different. There are different styles. So when you interview someone, but this one was aggressive. Why? It's like, for example, you force someone to answer. Aggressively ask some questions, okay, and it happens normally. For example, when it comes to vegan and meat-based diet, so vegan people, vegetarian and normal people. So when it comes that follow a normal or meat-based diet, and they are in. Let's talk about them. So when we see this type of interviews, we see that, okay, they're talking aggressively, directly asking some question, like attacking each other to answer. So I found it. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I think they it's look like aggressive. So the interviewer, they ask the answer question very directly. So
of course
the response the spoken person react very direction. So he answer the question very direct.
Yeah, actually, I think, the interviewer was aggressive, but so actually the second one, spokesperson, he tried to stay calm and he answered every question. So of course, try to reply, and for example, without any bias. So I found it really calm. But about interviewer, and just let's talk about your question that you asked me about styles. So here we are not talking about interview. We are talking about interviewer. So they are different. Since when it comes to interview, we have different styles, of course. So for example, we have situational, we have panel interview, different styles of interview. Now we are talking about actually the interviewer attitude. So for example, we have structured, unstructured, I don't know, like for example, panel interview, so different. We have group interview, for example. So there are different styles of interview. But now here we're talking about the attitude of interviewer. Okay, so aggressive. And how does a spokesperson react to the question, as we just talked?
Yeah.
So he was really,
Yeah, he really he answer really direct the question and
of course, directly.
straightforward in the information.
Yeah, of course. He was really to the point, directly answered. He was calm, and he tried to, of course, and he, made examples to clarify. So yeah, perfectly answered. And now let's see, what does the company do for its staff? Do you remember?
Yeah, I listened that he mentioned three things. Yeah, but in the end he said that they make the project in Bangladesh, right?
Yeah.
So they hire the local people and training them the skill, and so I think the C is best.
Yeah, actually, let's talk. What is the company's fame for? Why they're famous? So he mentioned that actually because of fairness, right?
Yeah.
So they try to, and we heard the word discrimination, prejudice. So let's talk about this word. I think we have them here, if I can find them. Yeah, here. So we have this, the words like, deception, fairness, generosity, credibility, prejudice, greed, discrimination. So let's talk about them. He mentioned discrimination and prejudice. Do you know the meaning of these two words?
Yeah, I see them in some time, but I'm not sure about the meaning of that was. Can you explain me?
Yeah, first of all, let's and deception. So let's start from the beginning. So when we say deception, when you mislead someone, when you trick someone, like fraud, trickery. So deception is trickery. Okay, so that is really this one here, the first one.
Yeah.
Deception means to mislead, the act of, since this is noun, so yes, say the act of misleading or tricking someone. The synonym, trickery, fraud, trickery or fraud. So they are synonyms that you can use. Dishonesty, if I want to give a simple word, I say dishonesty. Okay, and we have prejudice. Have you read the book Pride and Prejudice?
Sorry?
Have you read the book Pride and Prejudice?
No.
Okay, so let's talk about, let's talk about this word that is prejudice. So it's like, for example, when you have like a bias, okay? And what is this bias? It's, for example, you have an opinion, you have judgment about someone, that is prejudice. So a good synonym is bias. So I think that, for example, this product is better than this one. And no matter what do they produce, I think that this is better. So this is prejudice. So it means my opinion or my judgment about something. And if I want to give you a good synonym, I say discrimination or bias. Prejudice is bias. So that is a negative. It's not, of course, really good. So, and again, we have discrimination. Again means prejudice, means bias. It means you have some, I don't know, you behave you treat people based on some characteristic. Oh, their gender. I don't know, maybe like age, I don't know, race, so different factors. So again, it's bias. So this is about discrimination. And we have responsibility. That is really easy. So fairness, we talked about this. We have nothing to say about generosity. Generosity, you know that when you are kind, when you want to actually give everything to others, you are generous, and generosity. Credibility, trusted. When you are reliable, the state, the quality of being trusted. So that is credibility. And ethic, of course, we talked about this. We have this one. Again, we have corruption. Corruption means dishonest, unethical behavior. So corruption, like dishonesty.
It's not honesty.
No, dishonest. Or unethical, not ethical.
Similar with greed.
Not greed, since greed is different. Greed is a selfish desire. So when you're greedy, it can be, for example, you're greedy for food. It means you want it more and more, for power, for money. But here we are talking about dishonesty, unethical behavior. So they're different. They're not synonym. So there are the words that we actually heard when talking. Now do you have any questions related to the meaning of them, or you got them?
I have got it.
Okay, you got very good. And now let's see about this one. We have no time to listen. I wanted to play it again, but there is no time to play it again, so we should skip this one. And so let's do something. We have 3 minutes. Do you want to do this word together? So we have noun. Why not? We can have the adjectives for them. For example, what is the adjective of responsibility?
Responsible.
Responsible.
We
know that is responsible, of course. The next one.